Title: Peace in the Storm, a calm Bible story for sleep. Welcome to the channel, my friends. I'm so glad you are here tonight. Take a deep breath, relax your body, and let your heart become still. This Bible story is here to help calm your mind, quiet your worries, and remind you that you are not alone. Whatever anxiety, nervousness, fear, or heavy thoughts you carry today, place them gently into God's hands. Let His peace cover you like a warm blanket. Tonight, we are going to listen to a peaceful story about King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and His disciples on the sea. One evening, after a long day of teaching, healing, and caring for many people, the Lord said to His disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." The sky was slowly turning dark. The warm light of the day faded across the water, and the sea became quiet beneath the boat. The disciples climbed in, and the Lord went with them. They pushed away from the shore, leaving behind the noise of the crowd. As the boat moved across the water, the Lord rested. He was tired from the day, so He lay down in the back of the boat and slept on a cushion. His breathing was peaceful. His heart was calm. He was not afraid. But as they traveled, the wind began to rise. At first, it was only a gentle breeze. Then it grew stronger. The water started to move. Waves lifted the boat, then dropped it down again. The disciples looked at one another. Some of them were fishermen, used to the sea, but even they began to feel afraid. The wind blew harder. The waves crashed against the side of the boat. Water splashed in. The boat rocked from side to side. The night felt darker. The sea felt bigger. Their hearts became troubled. But the Lord was still asleep. The disciples rushed to Him and cried, "Master, do you not care that we are perishing?" And in that moment, the Lord rose. He did not panic. He did not shout in fear. He stood with calm authority, looked at the wind and the waves, and spoke, "Peace, be still." At His word, the wind stopped. The waves became quiet. The sea rested. The storm that had frightened them became calm before Him. Then the Lord looked at His disciples and gently asked, "Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith?" The disciples were amazed. They whispered to one another, "Who is this, that even the wind and the sea obey Him?" Tonight, remember this. The same Lord who calmed the storm is with you now. When your thoughts feel loud, He can speak peace. When your heart feels heavy, He can bring rest. When fear rises like waves, His love is stronger than the storm. You do not need to fight every worry tonight. You do not need to solve everything before you sleep. Rest in God's care. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders relax. Let your mind become still. The Lord is in the boat with you. He sees you. He loves you. He knows what you are carrying. And even when the storm feels big, He is bigger. Even when the night feels long, His presence is near. So close your eyes if you are ready. Breathe in peace. Breathe out worry. Let God hold tomorrow. Let His love guard your heart tonight. Peace, be still. God bless you, and may you sleep under the covering of His peace. And after the storm became still, the boat rested quietly upon the water. The disciples sat in silence for a moment. The wind that had been roaring was now gentle. The waves that had been rising were now calm. The fear that had filled their hearts slowly began to fade away. Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and they knew they had witnessed something holy. They had seen fear bow before peace. They had seen the sea obey his voice. They had seen that no storm was stronger than the presence of God. The boat continued moving softly across the water. The stars shone above them like little lamps in the dark sky. The moon reflected gently on the surface of the sea. Everything that had once felt dangerous now felt quiet and safe. And perhaps one of the disciples looked at the water and thought, "Just moments ago I believed this storm would destroy us, but the Lord was with us all along." That is something for your heart to remember tonight. Sometimes life feels like that boat in the storm. One moment, everything is peaceful, and the next moment, worry begins to rise. Thoughts come like waves. Fear knocks on the door of the heart. Anxiety whispers, "What if something goes wrong?" Nervousness says, "What if I cannot handle tomorrow?" But the Lord is still with you. He has not left the boat. He has not forgotten your name. He has not turned away from your tears. Even when you feel weak, He is strong. Even when you feel tired, He is near. Even when you do not know what to pray, God understands the quiet cries of your heart. The disciples did not calm the storm by their own strength. They did not stop the wind with their own hands. They simply ran to the one who had authority over it all. And tonight, you can do the same. You can bring your worries to God. You can bring your pain to God. You can bring your questions, your tiredness, your fear, your sadness, and your restless thoughts. You do not have to carry them alone. The Bible tells us to cast our cares upon the Lord because He cares for us. So now, as you listen, let your body become peaceful. Let your hands relax. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breathing slow down. You are safe in this moment. You are held by the love of God. The same voice that said, "Peace, be still," can speak peace over your mind tonight. Peace over your thoughts. Peace over your home. Peace over your sleep. Peace over your family. Peace over your tomorrow. As the boat reached the other side, the disciples stepped onto the shore. Their feet touched the ground, and they knew they had made it through the storm. Not because the storm was small, but because their Lord was greater. And this is the comfort for your soul. Storms do not last forever. The night does not last forever. Worry does not have the final word. God is still in control. You may not see every answer tonight. You may not understand every season you are walking through. But you can rest knowing that God sees the full journey. He knows where you are. He knows where you are going. And He is able to bring you safely to the other side. So do not let fear rule your heart tonight. Let faith rise softly within you. Not loud faith, not forced faith, just gentle faith. The kind of faith that whispers, "Lord, I trust you, even now, even here, even in the dark, I trust you." And as you lay down to sleep, imagine yourself in that boat after the storm. The sea is calm. The air is still. The Lord is near. His peace surrounds you. His love covers you. His presence watches over you. You do not need to be afraid. You do not need to solve everything before morning. You do not need to fight tomorrow's battles tonight. Rest now. God is awake even while you sleep. His angels are around you. His mercy is over you. His love will not fail you. Breathe in slowly and breathe out gently. Let your heart hear these words again. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May the peace of God quiet every anxious thought. May His love remove every fear. May your sleep be deep, calm, and protected. And may you wake with new strength, new hope, and a peaceful heart. God bless you, my friend. Rest in His love tonight. As the quiet night continued, the disciples walked with King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, on the other side of the sea. The ground beneath their feet was still damp from the evening air. The wind no longer shouted. The water behind them rested like glass. The same sea that had frightened them now looked peaceful, as though it had never been troubled at all. And this is how life can feel sometimes. A storm may come suddenly, loudly, and strongly. It may shake your heart and make you feel as though peace has disappeared. But when God speaks, even the loudest storm must become quiet. What felt too strong for you was never too strong for Him. The disciples followed the Lord along the shore. No one said much. They were still thinking about what had happened in the boat. Their clothes were damp from the waves. Their hands were tired from holding on. Their hearts were still settling after the fear. But they were safe. They had crossed over. They had made it through. And sometimes, my friend, that is all you need to remember tonight. You may be tired, but you are still here. You may have been shaken, but you are still standing. You may not understand everything, but God has carried you this far. The Lord did not leave His disciples in the middle of the storm. He brought them to the other side, and He will not leave you either. As they walked, the disciples began to notice the quiet beauty around them. The stars above them were shining softly. The air was cool and gentle. The land was still. It was as though creation itself was resting in the presence of God. Peter may have looked back at the boat and remembered how afraid he had been. He may have remembered the waves coming over the side, the darkness around them, and the feeling that everything was out of control. But then he would remember the voice of the Lord. Peace, be still. Those words stayed with them. They were not only words for the wind and the sea. They were words for the heart, words for fear, words for worry, words for the anxious thoughts that rise at night when everything is quiet and the mind begins to wander. Peace, be still. Let that be the whisper over your soul tonight. When your thoughts try to run ahead into tomorrow, remembers something painful from yesterday. Peace, be still. When you feel nervous and do not know why, peace, be still. When your body is tired but your mind will not rest, peace, be still. The Lord knows how to calm what people cannot see. He knows how to touch the hidden places of the heart. He knows every tear you have cried, every prayer you could not finish, and every burden you have carried in silence. Nothing about you is hidden from Him, and still He loves you. The disciples learned that night that faith does not mean the storm will never come. Faith means the Lord is with you when it does. Faith means you can call on Him. Faith means you can rest, not because life is always easy, but because God is always faithful. As the night grew deeper, the disciples stayed close to the Lord. They had seen His power, but they had also seen His peace. He was not shaken by what shook them. He was not afraid of what frightened them. He was calm because He knew the Father was in control. And that same peace is offered to you tonight. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to be perfect to receive it. You can come to God exactly as you are, tired, worried, weak, confused, or heavy-hearted, and He will not push you away. He is gentle with the weary. He is patient with the fearful. He is near to the broken-hearted. So let the story settle in your heart like warm light. Imagine the quiet shore. Imagine the calm sea. Imagine the disciples breathing slowly again after the storm. Imagine the Lord walking before them, steady and full of peace. And now imagine your own life in His hands, your home in His hands, your family in His hands, your sleep in His hands, your tomorrow in His hands. There is no safer place for your worries than in the hands of God. The night may be quiet now, but heaven is not far away. God is watching over you. His love is not sleeping. His mercy is not tired. His care for you does not end when the day ends. So release what you cannot control. Release the questions that have no answer tonight. Release the fear of what may happen. Release the pressure to be strong every moment. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to let God carry what is too heavy for you. The disciples crossed the sea because the Lord was with them. And you will cross your season too, not by your own strength alone, but by His grace, His love, and His faithful hand. The storm passed. The sea became calm. The night became peaceful. And the Lord remained near. So rest now, my friend. Let your heart become quiet. Let your mind slow down. Let your body sink into peace. God has not forgotten you. God has not abandoned you. God is with you in the boat, with you on the shore, and with you through the night. Peace, be still. Peace. the disciples continued walking beside King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the fear of the storm slowly became a memory behind them. The sound of the sea was no longer frightening. It was gentle now, moving softly against the shore. The same water that had risen against them now whispered quietly in the night. And the disciples began to understand something beautiful. When God brings peace, even the place of fear can become a place of rest. They had entered the boat afraid. They had crossed the water shaken. But now they stood on the other side, alive, safe, and changed. And maybe that is what God is doing in your life too. Maybe you have walked through a season that shook you. Maybe your heart has carried more than people know. Maybe you have smiled in the daytime but struggled quietly at night. Maybe your thoughts have been heavy and your soul has been tired. But you are still here, and the Lord is still near. The disciples did not know every detail of what waited for them on the other side. They did not know what tomorrow would bring, but they knew one thing. The one who calmed the storm was walking with them, and that was enough. Sometimes peace does not come because every question is answered. Sometimes peace comes because you remember who is with you. You remember that God is not far away. You remember that His love is steady. You remember that His hand is strong enough to hold what your hands cannot carry. The night air was cool. The stars were bright. The disciples followed the Lord step by step. Their feet pressed into the quiet ground, and every step seemed to say, "We made it through." One step after fear, one step after worry, one step after the storm. That is how healing often comes. Not always all at once. Not always with loud signs. Sometimes it comes gently, one breath at a time, one prayer at a time, one peaceful moment at a time. And tonight, you do not need to rush your heart. You do not need to force yourself to feel strong. You can simply rest in this moment and let God meet you where you are. He knows when you are tired. He knows when you are anxious. He knows when your mind is full. He knows when your heart needs comfort. And He is not angry with you for needing rest. The Lord is gentle. He does not crush the weak. He does not reject the weary. He comes close to those who are heavy with burdens, and He gives them rest. As the disciples looked at Him, they may have remembered His face in the boat, calm, steady, full of peace. While they were afraid of the storm, He was never afraid. While they wondered if they would make it, He already knew they would reach the other side. That is the comfort of walking with God. He sees the end from the beginning. He sees beyond the waves. He sees beyond the night. He sees beyond the fear that feels so big in the moment. And He says, "Trust me." Not because the journey is always easy, but because He is faithful. The disciples had learned something they would never forget. The storm had a voice, but the Lord's voice was greater. Fear had power for a moment, but his peace had authority forever. The sea could rise, the wind could blow, the boat could shake, but nothing could remove them from his care. And nothing can remove you from his care tonight. No anxious thought, no sleepless night, no painful memory, no fear about tomorrow, no weakness in your body, no heaviness in your heart. God's love is still covering you. So let your soul become quiet now. Let your heart stop fighting what only God can fix. Give him the storm. Give him the question. Give him the burden. Give him the thing you keep turning over in your mind. You do not have to carry it into your sleep. Place it down gently before him. And as you do, imagine the shore again. The calm sea behind you, the quiet sky above you, the Lord beside you. The storm is over. The waves are still. The night is peaceful. You are not alone in the dark. You are not forgotten in the silence. You are held by the God who never sleeps. The disciples kept walking, and with every step, their fear became smaller. The memory of the waves faded, but the memory of his words remained. Peace, be still. Those words were like a lamp inside their hearts. They could carry them into every future storm. They could remember them when life became uncertain again. They could whisper them when fear tried to return. And you can carry those words too. When you lie down tonight, let them rest gently in your mind. Peace over my thoughts. Peace over my heart. Peace over my body. Peace over my home. Peace over my sleep. The Lord who spoke to the storm is still Lord over tonight. He is still Lord over tomorrow. He is still Lord over every hidden worry and every silent tear. So breathe slowly, my friend. Let the day go. Let the noise fade. Let the fear loosen its grip. God is near. His presence is peace. His love is safe. His mercy is new. And just as the disciples reached the other side, you too will reach the other side of what you are facing. Not alone. Not abandoned, not forgotten, but carried by grace, held by love, covered in peace. Rest now in the care of God. Let his hand be over you. Let his peace be around you. Let his love quiet every storm within. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. After the quiet shore, the disciples followed the Lord a little farther. The sea was behind them now, calm and gentle, and the land before them rested under the soft light of the moon. Each step was slow. Each breath was easier than before. They had been afraid in the boat, but fear was losing its hold. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walked with them, steady and full of peace. His presence was enough to comfort their hearts. God does not rush the tired soul. He does not push away the person who is afraid. He does not turn from the one who feels weak. He comes near. He walks with you gently. The disciples had learned that the storm could be loud, but the Lord was stronger. The waves could rise, but his voice was greater. The wind could shake the boat, but it could not remove them from his care. And your worries cannot remove you from his care either. Your anxious thoughts may feel loud tonight. Your heart may feel heavy. You may be thinking about things you cannot change, but God is not far away from you in those thoughts. He is close. He is patient. He is kind. As the disciples walked, one of them looked up at the sky. The stars were still shining. They had been shining during the storm, too, even when the disciples could not see them clearly. The clouds had hidden the beauty, but the stars had never disappeared. Sometimes peace is like that. It may feel hidden, but God has not taken it away. His peace is still there, waiting for the heart to look up again. Tonight, look up with your heart, not with pressure, not with fear, just softly. Remember that God is still above the storm. He is still watching over you. He is still able to guide you through the dark and bring you into rest. The disciples were not perfect men. They had questions. They had fear. But the Lord still chose them, still loved them, and still stayed with them. That means you do not need to be perfect to be loved by God. You can come tired. You can come worried. You can come quiet. You can come with only a whisper, and He will receive you. The path grew quieter, and the disciples found a place to rest. The sound of the sea was soft in the distance. They sat down, no longer fighting the storm, no longer gripping the boat, no longer fearing the waves. They were simply resting. And tonight, you are invited to rest too. Let your hands relax. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breathing slow down. God knows what is unfinished. God knows what is uncertain. God knows what still needs an answer. But tonight, He is not asking you to carry it alone. He is asking you to trust Him with it. Give Him the heavy thing. Give Him the secret worry. Give Him the fear of tomorrow. Place it all before Him, gently, like laying a stone beside the quiet shore. You do not have to pick it back up tonight. The disciples rested near the Lord, and the peace around them became peace within them. The storm was not in control anymore. Fear was not the loudest voice anymore. Peace, be still. Let those words move slowly through your mind. Peace, be still. Let them settle over your body. Peace, be still. Let them cover your home. God is near to you now. He is near in the quiet. He is near in the darkness. He is near when you feel strong, and He is near when you feel fragile. His love is steady. His mercy is gentle. His care is real. The disciples would remember that night. They would remember the storm, yes, but more than that, they would remember the one who stood in the storm and brought peace. And you can remember Him tonight, too. Not the size of the fear, not the weight of the worry. Remember the Lord. Remember His peace. Remember His love. is in His hands. Your sleep is in His hands. Your tomorrow is in His hands. So rest now, my friend. The shore is quiet. The sea is calm. The Lord is near. You are safe in the care of God. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. The disciples rested beneath the quiet sky, and the night felt gentle around them. The storm was no longer before their eyes, but the lesson remained in their hearts. They had learned that the sea could change quickly, the wind could rise suddenly, and fear could come without warning. But they had also learned something greater. God was still greater than the storm. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, had not only brought them safely across the water, He had shown them that peace is not fragile when it comes from God. His peace does not break because the wind blows. His peace does not leave because the night becomes dark. His peace remains steady and strong. One disciple may have looked down at his hands. Those hands had gripped the boat tightly when the waves came in. Those hands had trembled with fear, but now they were open and relaxed. Sometimes, when we are anxious, we grip everything tightly. We try to hold the future. We try to hold control. We try to hold answers that have not come yet. But peace often begins when we open our hands and say, "Lord, I give this to you." So tonight, open your heart gently before God. Give Him the thought that keeps returning. Give Him the worry that feels too heavy. Give Him the fear that no one else can see. Give Him the sadness you have been carrying quietly. You do not need to explain it perfectly. God already understands. He knows the meaning of every tear. He knows the weight behind every sigh. He knows the prayers you could not put into words. The disciples sat close together, warmed by the comfort of being alive and safe. The Lord was near them, and His nearness made the dark feel calm. They did not need to speak much. They only needed to rest in His presence. And that is enough for you tonight, too. You do not need to say a long prayer if you are too tired. You do not need to find perfect words. You can simply rest and know that God is near. He is not waiting for you to be strong before He loves you. He loves you in your weakness. He loves you in your tiredness. He loves you in the quiet hours when your heart feels small. The sea behind them moved softly, like a whisper. The stars above them shone without fear. The earth beneath them held them gently. Everything around them seemed to remind their hearts that God was still in control. The storm had passed. The shore was safe. The Lord was with them. Let this truth settle over you slowly. The storm does not get the final word. Fear does not get the final word. Anxiety does not get the final word. God speaks the final word, and His word is peace. Peace over your mind, peace over your body, peace over your breathing, peace over your home, peace over every hidden place in your heart. The disciples would sleep again. Their eyes would close. Their bodies would rest. And when morning came, the sun would rise over the same sea that had troubled them. Light would touch the water. The darkness would fade. A new day would begin. And so it will be for you. This night will pass. Morning will come. God's mercy will meet you again. You may not know everything tomorrow holds, but you can know who holds tomorrow. You may not have every answer tonight, but you can rest in the one who is faithful. So let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts soften. Let your heart lean into the love of God. You are not forgotten. You are not too much for Him. You are not beyond His reach. You are His creation, precious and loved. The disciples once feared they would not make it, but the Lord brought them through, and He can bring you through too. Rest now, my friend. Let the quiet cover you. Let the love of God hold you. Let the words of the Lord calm the storm within. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May your heart become light. May your mind become quiet. May your sleep be deep and safe. And may the peace of God stay with you through the night until the morning come. The morning had not yet come, but the night was no longer heavy. The disciples sat near the shore, wrapped in the quiet peace that followed the storm. The air was cool. The sea moved gently in the distance. Every wave sounded calm now, like a soft reminder that God had spoken and the storm had obeyed. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, was close to them. His presence made the darkness feel safe. The disciples had been afraid when the storm came. They had thought the boat would sink. They had cried out because they did not know what else to do. But their cry had reached the Lord, and the Lord had answered. That is something your heart can hold tonight. Your cry reaches God. Even when it is quiet, even when it is only a whisper, even when it is only a tear, God hears you. He hears the worry behind your silence. He hears the fear behind your tiredness. Nothing in your heart is too small for Him, and nothing in your life is too heavy for His hand. The disciples looked at one another. Their faces were calmer now. Fear was slowly being replaced with peace. They had seen enough to know that the Lord was faithful. Sometimes faith grows like that, not all at once, not with loud noise, but quietly, after God brings you through something you thought would break you. Faith grows when you look back and realize, I was afraid, but God kept me. I was tired, but God carried me. By His mercy, I am still here. Tonight, remember how far God has carried you. You have made it through days you thought were too much. You have survived worries that once seemed bigger than you. And still, God has kept you. The disciples knew the storm had been stronger than them, but they also knew the Lord had been stronger than the storm. This is where rest begins. Rest begins when you stop pretending you can hold everything by yourself. Rest begins when you place your life into the hands of the one who never grows tired. So gently, let go. Let go of the question that followed you into the night. Let go of the fear that keeps knocking. Let go of the pressure to have every answer. Let go of tomorrow for now. God is already there. The Lord knows your name. He knows every burden you carry and every hope you are holding close. He is tender. He is faithful. He is near. As the disciples sat in the quiet, perhaps one of them remembered the exact moment the storm stopped. The wind did not fade because it became tired. The sea did not calm itself. Everything became still because the Lord spoke. Peace, be still. Those words still carry comfort. Words for the heart that cannot settle. Words for the mind that keeps racing. Words for the body that needs rest. Words for the soul that feels worn down. Peace, be still. Let them settle over you like a blanket. The night is not stronger than God. Your worry is not stronger than His love. Your fear is not stronger than His peace. Your weakness is not too much for His grace. The disciples would continue their journey, but for that moment, they simply rested. Sleep can be an act of trust. Closing your eyes can become a quiet prayer that says, "Lord, I trust you to watch over me." So rest now, my friend. Let your breathing become slow. Let your heart become quiet. Let your thoughts become gentle. God is watching over you. His mercy is around you. His love is beneath you like firm ground. You are safe in His care. The storm has passed. The shore is peaceful. The Lord is near. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May your soul feel calm. May your body feel relaxed. May your mind release its worries. And may the peace of God carry you softly through the night. The night continued softly, and the disciples rested near the quiet shore. The sea was calm behind them, and the fear that once filled their hearts was slowly fading away. They had crossed through the storm, not because they were strong enough to defeat it, but because the Lord was with them. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, had brought peace where there had been fear. He had brought stillness where there had been noise. He had brought safety where there had been danger. And now, under the quiet sky, the disciples began to understand that God's peace is not only for the daytime. His peace is for the night, too. His peace is for the moments when no one else sees the tears. His peace is for the heart that feels tired. His peace is for the mind that will not stop thinking. The disciples had cried out in the storm, and the Lord had answered. Their voices were shaken, but He still heard them. Their faith was small, but He still helped them. Their fear was real, but His love was greater. And this is the comfort for your heart tonight. You do not need to come to God pretending to be strong. You can come tired. You can come quiet. You can come with a heavy heart. You can come with only a whisper. God does not reject the weary soul. He welcomes it. He covers it. He speaks peace over it. As the disciples looked out over the water, they could see the moonlight resting on the sea. The waves moved gently now, no longer rising against them. The same place that had frightened them had become peaceful. Sometimes God does not remove every memory of the storm, but He changes what it means. What once felt like fear becomes a testimony. What once felt like danger becomes a reminder that God carried you through. The disciples would never forget that night. They would remember the wind. They would remember the waves. But most of all, they would remember his voice. Peace, be still. Those words stayed with them. And tonight, let those words stay with you. When your thoughts feel heavy, peace, be still. When your heart feels nervous, peace, be still. When tomorrow feels too big, peace, be still. When sleep feels far away, peace, be still. God is not far from you. He is near, nearer than the worry, nearer than the fear, nearer than the thoughts you cannot explain. He knows what you need before you ask. He knows where you are weak. He knows the battles you have fought in silence. He knows the things you carried today that no one else noticed. And still, his love is gentle toward you. The disciples rested because the Lord was near. They did not need to understand everything. They did not need to know what would happen next. They only needed to know that the one who calmed the storm was still with them. And that is enough for tonight. You do not need every answer before you sleep. You do not need every problem solved before morning. You do not need to carry tomorrow into this quiet moment. Let God hold it. Let God hold your family. Let God hold your home. Let God hold your body. Let God hold your mind. Let God hold the things you cannot control. His hands are safe. His heart is kind. His presence is peace. The disciples slowly became still. Their breathing settled. Their hearts were no longer racing. The night wrapped around them gently, and the love of God covered them. And now, let your own heart become still. Let your shoulders relax. Let your face soften. Let your breathing slow. You are held by God. You are seen by God. You are loved by God. The storm has not won. Fear has not won. Anxiety has not won. The Lord is greater than all of it. Tonight, rest in that truth. The sea is calm. The shore is quiet. The Lord is near. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May your mind become quiet. May your body become relaxed. May every anxious thought lose its power. And may the peace of God cover you gently until the morning comes. The quiet shore remained peaceful, and the disciples stayed close to the Lord. The night had become a place of rest. The sea behind them moved softly, no longer wild, no longer frightening. The wind was gentle now, like a whisper passing over the grass. What had once made their hearts tremble had become calm under the command of God. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, looked upon his disciples with patience and love. He knew their fear. He knew their weakness. He knew how quickly their hearts had become troubled when the storm rose around them. But he also knew they were learning. They were learning that faith is not about never feeling afraid. Faith is bringing your fear to God and trusting Him to hold you through it. That is a peaceful truth for tonight. You may have felt afraid before. You may have felt anxious. You may have felt nervous about tomorrow, worried about your family, tired in your body, or heavy in your mind. But God does not turn away from you because you feel these things. He draws near. He comes close. He speaks peace. The disciples had not been brave in the storm. They had cried out. They had panicked. They had wondered if the Lord cared. Yet He still answered them. His love was not removed because their faith felt small. And His love is not removed from you either. Your anxious thoughts do not push Him away. Your tired prayers do not disappoint Him. Your restless nights do not make Him love you less. He is gentle with you. As the disciples rested, the first signs of morning were still far away. The sky was dark, but it was not empty. The stars were shining quietly above them, steady and bright. They looked small from the earth, but each one was known by God. And if God knows the stars by name, He knows you too. He knows your name. He knows your heart. He knows the things you cannot explain. He knows the burdens you carry silently. Nothing about your life is hidden from His loving eyes. The disciples slowly allowed peace to settle in their hearts. They did not need to keep watching the sea in fear. They did not need to keep remembering the waves. The Lord was with them, and that was enough. Tonight, let that be enough for you. God is with you. God is watching over you. God is holding what you cannot hold. Let your mind rest from trying to understand everything. Let your heart rest from trying to fix everything. Let your body rest from carrying tension and fear. You are allowed to be still. You are allowed to sleep. You are allowed to trust God with the night. The disciples would one day face other storms. They would face hard roads, difficult questions, and moments when their faith would be tested again. But this night would remain in their memory like a lamp. They would remember that the storm had been loud, but the Lord's voice was louder. They would remember that the waves had been strong, but His peace was stronger. They would remember that fear had filled the boat, but His presence had filled the sea with calm. And you can remember that tonight too. Whatever has been loud in your mind, God is greater. Whatever has been heavy on your heart, God is stronger. Whatever has made you afraid, God is nearer. So breathe slowly. Let your thoughts become quiet. Let the peace of God move gently through your soul. You are not alone in this room. You are not alone in this night. You are not alone in what you are facing. The Lord is near to the weary. He is close to the brokenhearted. He gives rest to those who come to Him. So come to Him now with a simple heart. No performance, no pressure, no fear. Just rest. The sea is calm. The shore is quiet. The stars are shining. The Lord is near. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May every anxious thought become quiet. May every fear loosen its grip. May your body relax, your breathing slow, and your sleep become peaceful under the care of God. As the night moved gently toward morning, the disciples remained in a quiet place of rest. The sea behind them was peaceful. The waves moved softly, one after another, like a gentle song in the dark. The wind no longer pushed against them. The boat no longer rocked with fear. Everything around them had become still, and in that stillness, their hearts began to heal. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, was near, and his nearness brought comfort that words could not fully explain. The disciples had seen his power over the storm, but now they were feeling his tenderness after the storm. Sometimes that is what the soul needs most. Not noise, not pressure, not more fear. Just the quiet reminder that God is near. The disciples did not need to speak much. They had cried out in fear earlier, but now they could sit in peace. They had asked if the Lord cared, and the answer had come through the calm sea, the quiet wind, and the safety of the shore. Yes, he cared. He cared when they were afraid. He cared when they were weak. He cared when they did not understand. And he cares for you tonight. He cares about the thoughts that trouble you. He cares about the tiredness in your body. He cares about the worries you keep hidden from others. He cares about the nervous feeling that sometimes rises for no clear reason. God does not only care about the big storms people can see. He also cares about the small storms inside the heart. The disciples looked out across the water. The moonlight rested gently on the sea. The same water that had once seemed dangerous now looked calm and beautiful. And they began to understand that God can bring beauty even after fear. He can bring peace after panic. He can bring rest after crying. He can bring hope after a long night. So tonight, do not judge your whole life by one storm. Do not think your story is finished because one season has been hard. The Lord is still writing peace into places that once felt troubled. The disciples had reached the other side, and you will too. Maybe not in the way you expected, maybe not as quickly as you hoped. But God is faithful, and He knows how to carry His children through the night. Let your heart hear that slowly. God knows how to carry you. You do not need to know every step. You do not need to see the whole road. You only need to trust the one who walks with you. The disciples were safe, not because the night was easy, but because the Lord was with them. That same comfort can settle over you now. Your room may be quiet. Your eyes may feel heavy. Your mind may still try to wander. But God is present in this moment. Let His peace fill the silence. Let His love cover the fear. Let His mercy soften the heaviness. You can let go now. Let go of today. Let go of tomorrow. Let go of the thing you cannot change tonight. Place it all in the hands of God. His hands are not careless. His hands are not weak. His hands are gentle, strong, and full of love. The disciples rested under the sky, and little by little, the fear of the storm became smaller. What remained was the memory of His voice. Peace, be still. That voice was greater than the wind. That voice was greater than the waves. That voice was greater than fear. And that voice can speak over your heart tonight. Peace, be still. Over your thoughts. Peace, be still. Over your breathing. Peace, be still. Over your sleep. Rest is a gift from God, and you are allowed to receive it. So close your eyes gently if you are ready. Let your body become heavy with rest. Let your heart become quiet with trust. Let your mind settle in the love of God. The Lord is near. The sea is calm. The shore is safe. The night is held by God, and you are held too. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May your worries become quiet. May your heart feel safe. May your sleep be calm and deep. And may the peace of God remain with you until the morning light comes. The quiet night continued, and the disciples remained near the shore. The storm was now only a memory, but the peace of God was present with them. The sea moved gently in the distance, and every wave seemed to remind them that the Lord had spoken, and the world had become calm. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, sat with them in the stillness. There was no hurry. There was no fear. Only rest. The disciples had spent so much strength fighting the wind, holding the boat, and crying out in panic. But now they were learning that rest also takes faith. It takes faith to stop striving. It takes faith to trust God with the night. It takes faith to believe that even when you close your eyes, He is still watching over you. And tonight, that faith can be yours. You do not need to stay awake protecting your own life with worry. Worry feels busy, but it does not bring peace. Fear feels loud, but it does not make you safe. Only God can give the kind of peace that settles deep inside the soul. So let Him give you peace tonight. Let Him calm the part of you that keeps thinking. Let Him comfort the part of you that feels tired. Let Him hold the part of you that feels afraid. The disciples looked around at the quiet land. The darkness was still there, but it no longer felt threatening. The night had not disappeared, but the fear had. Sometimes that is how God works in the heart. He may not remove every situation at once, but He removes the terror from inside it. He reminds you that He is with you. He reminds you that His love is stronger. He reminds you that you are not alone. The disciples had asked, "Do you not care?" But now they knew. The calm sea answered them. The quiet wind answered them. The safe shore beneath their feet answered them. Yes, the Lord cared. He cared before they called. He cared while they were afraid. He cared after the storm was gone. And He cares for you in the same way. He cares when you feel restless. He cares when your thoughts are heavy. He cares when you are too tired to explain. He cares when all you can do is lie still and hope for sleep. God is not distant from your quiet moments. He is not far away from your bed, your room, your home, or your heart. His presence can fill the silence with comfort. The disciples slowly settled into peace. The Lord had brought them through the storm, and now He was teaching them how to rest after it. Sometimes, after fear has passed, the body still feels tense. The mind still remembers. The heart still needs time to become quiet again. God understands that. He does not rush your healing. He does not shame your tiredness. He stays near. He brings peace gently, like soft light before morning, like a calm voice in the middle of the night. Peace, be still. Let those words move slowly through you now. Peace for the thoughts that have been running. Peace for the worries that have been circling. Peace for the memories that have been heavy. Peace for the body that needs rest. Peace for the heart that needs hope. The disciples rested because the Lord was with them. And you can rest because God is with you too. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. Not only when you are strong, but also when you are weak. Not only when you are joyful, but also when you are weary. Not only when your faith feels great, but also when your prayer is small. A small prayer can still reach a great God. So whisper in your heart, Lord, give me peace, and receive His peace. The sea is calm. The shore is quiet. The stars are shining. The Lord is near. You do not need to carry the storm into your sleep. You can leave it with God. You can rest in His care. You can trust that His mercy will meet you when morning comes. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May your mind slow down. May your heart feel safe. May your body relax. May every anxious thought become quiet. And may the gentle peace of God cover you through the night. The disciples stayed in the quiet place, and the night felt gentle around them. The storm had passed, but the lesson remained like a soft light in their hearts. They had seen the wind rise. They had felt the boat shake. They had heard the waves crash around them. But they had also heard the voice of King Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, speak peace over everything that frightened them. And now the sea was calm. The sky above them was deep and peaceful. The stars shone quietly, as if heaven itself was watching over the shore. The disciples were tired, but their hearts were no longer rushing. Fear had slowly stepped back, and peace had taken its place. Sometimes, after a hard day, your body may be tired, but your mind still feels awake. Thoughts can move like waves. Worries can come one after another. You may wonder about tomorrow. You may think about what went wrong today. You may carry things in your heart that no one else knows. But God knows. He knows every hidden worry. He knows every silent tear. He knows every prayer that came out only as a sigh. And He is not far from you. The disciples learned that night that God is present even when the storm is loud. The Lord had been in the boat before the wind rose. He was there when the waves crashed. He was there when they were afraid. And he was still there when everything became still. He was present before the storm. He was present during the storm. He was present after the storm. And he is present with you now. You are not waiting for God to notice you. He already sees you. You are not waiting for God to care. He already cares. You are not alone in the dark. His love is near, quiet, and strong. The disciples began to rest more deeply. Their hands were no longer clenched. Their breathing was slower. Their hearts were learning to trust the peace they had received. Maybe one of them looked back at the sea and thought, "I was so afraid, but the Lord was never afraid." That is a beautiful truth to hold tonight. The thing that shakes you does not shake God. The thing that frightens you does not frighten Him. The thing that feels too heavy for you is not too heavy for His hands. So bring it to Him. Bring the thought you keep replaying. Bring the fear you cannot explain. Bring the burden you have carried all day. Place it before God, gently and honestly. You do not need perfect words. You do not need a long prayer. You can simply say, "Lord, I give this to you. Please give me rest." And He hears you. The quiet shore reminded the disciples that storms do not last forever. The wind had a beginning, and it had an ending. The waves rose, and then they fell. The fear came, and then peace came after it. This night will pass too. The heaviness will not last forever. The anxious thoughts do not own you. The Lord is greater than them all. Let your heart receive that slowly. You are safe in God's care. You are loved in your weakness. You are held in the night. The disciples did not earn the miracle by being brave. They received mercy because they called on the Lord. And tonight, mercy is not far from you. It is near. It is enough for this moment. The sea moved softly, like a lullaby. The water that had once seemed dangerous now sounded peaceful, because the Lord had brought order where there had been chaos. God can do that inside a heart. He can bring order where worry has been. He can bring stillness where fear has been. He can bring comfort where sadness has been. He can bring rest where there has been no rest. So let Him work gently in you tonight. Let His peace touch your thoughts. Let His love settle your heart. Let His presence make the darkness feel safe. You do not have to fight the night. You can rest through it. You do not have to carry tomorrow. You can leave it with God until morning. You can be held. The disciples stayed near the Lord, and that was their peace. Their peace was Him, and your peace is found in Him too. Peace, be still over every thought. Peace, be still over every worry. peace be still over every fear. May the love of God cover you like a warm blanket. May His mercy stand guard over your mind. May His presence bring comfort to your soul. May your breathing slow, your heart become quiet, and your sleep become peaceful. The storm has passed. The shore is safe. The Lord is near. Rest now, my friend. You are held by God through the night, and His mercy will meet you in the morning. The night rested quietly over the shore, and the disciples remained close to the Lord. The sea was calm now, moving in gentle waves beneath the moonlight. The wind no longer pushed against them. The fear that had filled the boat was gone, and in its place was a peace they would never forget. King Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, had spoken, and the storm had become still. The disciples had seen many things before, but this moment touched them. They had watched sick people healed. They had heard wisdom that opened their hearts. They had seen kindness poured out on people who were tired, rejected, and broken. But on this night, they had learned that even the wind and sea knew His voice. And if the storm knew His voice, then the heart could know it too. Tonight, your heart can know His voice, not as a loud sound, but as a gentle peace within you. A quiet reminder that you are not forgotten. A soft assurance that God is near. A loving whisper that says, "You can rest now. I am with you." The disciples may have thought about how quickly fear had entered them. One moment they were crossing the water, the next they were holding on for their lives. Fear can be like that. It can come suddenly. It can make small thoughts feel big. It can make tomorrow feel heavy before tomorrow has arrived. But God does not ask you to carry tomorrow tonight. He gives grace for this moment. He gives mercy for this breath. He gives peace for this hour. So let this moment be enough. You do not need to solve the whole future before you sleep. You do not need to understand every answer. You do not need to be strong in every place where you feel weak. The disciples were not strong in the storm, yet the Lord was strong for them. And He can be strong for you too. As they rested, the cool air touched their faces. Their bodies were tired, but their souls were calmer. The Lord had brought them through danger into stillness, through fear into peace, through darkness into safety. This is what God can do. He can lead you out of panic and into peace. He can lead you out of heaviness and into rest. He can lead you out of fear and into trust. Sometimes He does it slowly, like the night becoming morning. Sometimes He does it quietly, deep inside the heart. But He is always faithful. The disciples did not know what the next day would bring. They did not know what roads they would walk or what people they would meet. But they knew they would not walk alone. That is enough for tonight. You may not know everything about tomorrow. You may not know how every problem will be answered. But you can know this: God will not leave you. His love will not disappear in the morning. His mercy will rise with you. The same God who watched over you today will watch over you tonight. So breathe slowly. Let your body rest. Let your heart soften. Let your thoughts become gentle. Imagine the disciples beside the calm water. Imagine the quiet shore beneath their feet. Imagine the Lord near them, steady, kind, and full of peace. The storm has ended. The sea is still. The night is safe, and the love of God remains. When your mind tries to return to worry, bring it back to peace. When your heart tries to hold fear again, bring it back to trust. When your thoughts begin to run ahead, bring them back to the quiet shore. You are here. God is near. This breath is held by Him. This night is held by Him. Your life is held by Him. The disciples had asked, "Do you not care?" But now they knew the answer. He cared enough to rise. He cared enough to speak. He cared enough to bring them safely through. And He cares enough to be with you now. He cares about your sleep. He cares about your peace. He cares about your family. He cares about the small things that feel heavy in your heart. Nothing is too small for His love. Nothing is too hard for His power. So release the day, release the noise, release the fear. Let God hold what you cannot hold. The disciples rested near the Lord, and the quiet around them became a prayer without words. The sea, the stars, the shore, and the silence all seemed to say the same thing. God is faithful. God is near. God gives peace. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. May every worry settle down. May every fear grow quiet. May every heavy thought become light in the hands of God. May your sleep be calm, your heart be safe, and your soul be covered with peace until morning comes.